town anymore. We couldn't
And
home base there. We couldn't bring our crab there. It was going to change us financially.
For years, Captain Wild Bill Wichrowski ruled the brutal waters of the Bering Sea, a fearless legend who laughed in the face of danger and defied every storm. But now, the man who conquered the ocean is facing a storm he can't outrun. In a twist that's breaking hearts across the world, Deadliest Catch is saying goodbye after Bill's shocking and tragic diagnosis. Yet, even as the waves calm and the engines fall silent, one question remains. Can Wild Bill's fighting spirit overcome the deadliest battle of his life? It didn't begin on the deck of the FV Summer Bay, where viewers were used to seeing him shouting orders through freezing winds. It began in the quiet, sterile halls of an oncology ward. Gone were the sounds of crashing waves and roaring engines. Instead, there was the steady hum of medical machines. Fans watched as the tough, no-nonsense captain waited for test results, his usual confidence replaced by silent tension. Then came the verdict that hit harder than any rogue wave. The doctor looked him in the eye and said, "You have prostate cancer, and it needs to be treated right away." The diagnosis was shocking. It wasn't just cancer. It was an aggressive form that needed immediate attention. For a man who lived by the rhythm of fishing seasons and quotas, his life was suddenly in the hands of doctors and treatments. The ocean had always been his biggest challenge, but now, a microscopic enemy threatened to do what the sea never could. Yet, instead of fear, his reaction was defiance. The moment he heard the words, his first thought was, "I'm not going to stop fishing. I'm going to keep going until I actually can't." Wild Bill refused to let cancer define him. When he told doctors he planned to continue fishing while undergoing treatment, they looked at him like he'd lost his mind. The world of medicine demanded rest, but the world of crab fishing demanded strength and endurance. Still, he was determined to fight this battle his way, on his own terms, out at sea. It was more than stubbornness. It was identity. For decades, the Bering Sea had been his home, his battlefield, and his purpose. The treatments were brutal and relentless. Captain Wild Bill Wichrowski opened up to fans about his battle, revealing that he was undergoing a combination of radioactive seed implants and hormone therapy. The procedure was designed to save his life, but it came with a devastating cost. The therapy dropped his testosterone to near zero, leaving him weak, fatigued, and stripped of the strength that once defined him. He confessed to his followers, "I've always felt 10 to 15 years younger than my age, but now it feels like the clock has finally caught up." The same treatment that was saving him was also slowly draining the fire that had powered him through decades of storms. Yet, in the middle of this struggle, something powerful began to form. Wild Bill decided that his fight would have meaning beyond himself. He opened up his private life to millions, allowing Deadliest Catch cameras to follow his journey, from the hospital to the freezing decks of the Summer Bay. "If I can help save 1 or 2 people on this planet," he said, "that's a good thing." The man who once measured success in pounds of crab now measured it in lives he could inspire and save. To understand that strength, you have to know where he came from. Born and raised in Irwin, Pennsylvania, east of Pittsburgh, Bill joined the U.S. Navy after graduating from Norwin High School in 1975. The sea got into his blood early. After leaving the service, he was drawn to Alaska's booming crab industry, where he spent 20 years climbing from greenhorn to captain. His nickname, Wild Bill, wasn't given. It was earned through fearless stunts, fiery leadership, and a reputation that made him both respected and unstoppable. By 2005, after years of battling the brutal seas, he semi-retired to Costa Rica and Mexico, running sport fishing tours. But when the economy took a downturn, Bill found himself at a crossroads. Around that same time, a new show called Deadliest Catch was taking off. He kept in touch with old fishing friends, and in 2010, during Season 6, he joined the cast, bringing his tough love leadership and sarcastic humor to millions of homes. Fans immediately connected with him. He wasn't just a captain. He was a teacher, a father figure, and a man unafraid to show raw emotion. He commanded ships like the Cape Caution, the Kodiak, and, most famously, the Summer Bay. Underneath the hard shell was a man who truly cared about his crew. He guided young deckhands, pushed them to their limits, and made sure they learned to survive. His leadership style was tough but fair, and it earned him respect from everyone around him. Behind the cameras, though, life wasn't easy. Bill's wife, Karen Gillis, became his anchor during the toughest times, especially through his cancer battle. He often credited her as his rock, the one who kept him grounded. He also had 3 children, Zach, Jake, and Delia. His relationship with his son, Zach Larson, became one of the most talked about parts of the show. Bill admitted he wasn't always there when Zach was growing up. When Zach joined the boat, it was supposed to be a second chance. But the sea can strain even the closest bonds. Father and son clashed often, and when Zach eventually left to work for rival captain Sean Dwyer, the tension deepened. Despite personal challenges, Wild Bill used his fame for good. During the off-season, he supported charities like the Wounded Warrior Project, helping veterans find healing through fishing. As a Navy veteran himself, the mission was close to his heart. He once said that a Discovery Channel executive told him he had a voice people would listen to, and he took that seriously. He began taking wounded veterans out on sport fishing trips, offering them peace and purpose away from the chaos of war. But life at sea always brings loss. In 2020, tragedy struck when his deck boss, Nick McGlashan, died from a drug overdose at only 33 years old. Nick was more than a crew member. He was like a son. His death devastated Bill and added another layer of pain to a life already marked by struggle. As Season 20 of Deadliest Catch aired, fans watched Bill fight 2 wars, one against the relentless Bering Sea and one within his own body. He pushed himself through exhaustion, determined to finish the season. But then came the call that changed everything. While out on the water, his doctor informed him he needed an immediate operation, and missing it could be fatal. For the first time in over 40 years, Bill had to make a choice: his boat or his life. Gathering his crew on deck, he made one of the hardest announcements of his career. "I've never missed the end of a season in over 40 years, he said. "But this time, I have to go." He turned to his trusted deck boss, Landon Cheney, and handed him the helm of the Summer Bay. "Frankly," he said, "I couldn't think of a better guy to leave the boat with." It was a passing of the torch, a moment of trust, humility, and leadership. After leaving the sea for surgery, Bill updated fans with a message that brought hope to millions. "Happy to say, numbers are great," he wrote. Then came the words everyone wanted to hear: "I seem to be cancer-free now." Fans celebrated across social media, relieved that their captain had survived his deadliest battle yet. But he didn't sugarcoat it. He admitted the fight had aged him, that the treatments had taken their toll. "Maybe it's a small price to pay for my life," he reflected. When Discovery Channel later confirmed that Captain Wild Bill Wichrowski would not return for Season 21, fans felt the loss deeply. After more than a decade, the show was saying goodbye to one of its most iconic figures. But this wasn't a defeat. It was a decision. Bill chose health. He chose to live. And in doing so, he reminded the world that true strength isn't just about conquering storms. It's about knowing when to stop fighting and start healing. Even though he's stepped away from the spotlight, his legacy remains. Every time a greenhorn braves the icy decks of the Bering Sea, every time a captain shouts orders through the wind, a little piece of Wild Bill's spirit lives on. His story is a testament to grit, courage, and survival, both at sea and in life. Captain Wild Bill Wichrowski's story reminds us that real strength isn't just about surviving storms, it's about rising after them. He faced tragedy, illness, and time itself, and still stood tall. The ocean may have tested him, but it never broke him. His battle became an inspiration for millions to fight, to hope, and to live fully. If his journey moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories of courage and resilience. Because legends like Wild Bill never truly sail away. They live on forever. Thanks for watching.